Hey, what's up guys? Chris Lowe here. So this isn't one of my typical videos, but today I just finished checking out the Apple WWDC 2020 event. That's Apple's worldwide developer conference, and what's cool about this year's event was that it was completely online and virtual. So there wasn't any kind of in-house audience, and I think they did a pretty good job. Today they announced some pretty cool software updates, and some things that I thought were only okay. Don't get me wrong, I love Apple, but I wasn't super excited about everything that they showcased. There wasn't any hardware surprises either, but that would have just been icing on the cake. What I liked about today's keynote was that it was very dynamic, and not just your typical auditorium presentation. They did an excellent job putting it together and showcasing different parts of the Apple campus, which is something that I always enjoy looking at. So today, they talked mostly about the OS updates, and even threw in a few curveballs here and there, starting with the iOS 14 update, which had some pretty cool new features. Some that people have been waiting for, and some that I myself think were only alright. They talked about the all-new app library screen, which basically organizes all your apps into categories, making it easier and more efficient to cluster and navigate between all the apps on your phone, without really having to swipe screen to screen. This new feature allows you to summarize all of your apps into one screen and then hide the remaining screens by essentially turning them off and hiding them from view by unchecking them in a screen view page. I'm somewhat on the fence about this new feature, and I'm not sure that I like it yet. For me, it looks kind of weird, and I prefer using the folders that currently exist, but we'll see when it's released how easy it is to use and get used to. The next feature they talked about is something that a lot of people have been asking for, and something that I myself like about Android, and that's the ability to add widgets to the home screen instead of just the Today screen, which I've always hated having to flip to that screen to see widgets and information that's important to me. This I thought was a great update, and something I have wanted on the iPhone for a long time now. I like how you can place the widgets almost anywhere and the icons adjust and move accordingly. To me, it makes the OS and screens a little bit more customizable, especially because the widgets also come in different sizes. They also have a Smart Stack widget that updates throughout the day based on things that matter to you, and AI learning based on the information that you look at and how you use your phone throughout the day. I thought this was pretty slick. Another function that they added was a picture-in-picture feature, which I also thought was great because it better enables multitasking and is a feature other tablets and phones already have. Siri also got an overhaul and no longer takes up the entire screen. In this update, Siri should now be able to do a lot more and integrate and utilize relevant visuals, apps, and widgets for everything that you ask it. Another overhaul is how messages are managed. The messaging app now features updates to how people interact and collaborate through group messaging, which includes inline replies and mentions, as well as functionality to pin messages to the top of your message center. So aside from these features, Apple is also introducing a handful of new apps such as the Translate app and App Clips, which will allow you to interact with apps that you don't necessarily have installed. It's nothing too innovative and something that Android has had for a while now. I'm not even sure how much I'll use these apps. They also included a cycling app and an EV app, knowing that electronic vehicles are becoming more of a thing in today's world. They also showcased updates to Carplay, which is an interface I always look for when I'm renting a car, and also wish that my car had. They also introduced the ability to use your phone as your digital car key and being able to open and start your car with only your phone, with the first car to have this feature being the new BMW 5 Series. I thought it was cool that you could also share and send people you know digital car keys with various levels of access. This just makes your phone more of a one-all be-all of everything you need to carry with you. You'll no longer need car keys or your wallet because everything will be on your phone. So that was iOS. iPadOS also got a lot of the similar updates as well, as some of the tweaks to Siri and the phone app to allow more freedom to multitask without taking up a lot of screen real estate. iPadOS also got the new Scribble app, which is a pretty cool feature that allows you to write anywhere and convert that to text, and then allows you the ability for you to convert any text to something you can copy and search for. Now moving forward, WatchOS didn't get as many feature updates or customizations as I would have liked. They did include a hand washing app, which uses the microphone to sense when you're washing your hands to ensure that you're spending enough time washing your hands. Not a really cool addition, but I guess makes sense for the current environment that we're living in. Sleep tracking was also added, but I don't know if it was thoroughly thought through, because I typically charge my watch when I'm sleeping and don't typically wear it, unless I plan on using it while it's on the charger. And to be honest, I'm skeptical about the app itself. Additional activities were also added to the renamed Fitness app, but overall I don't think there were any astronomical updates made to WatchOS 7. macOS 11 probably got the biggest update, starting with the aesthetics such as rounded corners and updated icons, which I thought made everything look a little bit more uniform. However, I know most longtime Mac users probably won't like these changes. For me, who I'm typically a PC user, it fits the bill. And probably the biggest update and announcement was the transition from Intel-based silicon chips to Apple silicon chips, essentially bringing everything critical and self-sustaining in-house and aligning to Apple's other products. The shift is not surprising and gives Apple full control of their own ecosystem, the features, and their own destiny. They did mention, however, that they weren't completely abandoning Intel and that there will be a 2-year transition period. And they even introduced Xcode and Universal 2, which will work both with Intel and Apple Silicon devices from a developer standpoint. They did highlight that the first Mac using Apple Silicon will be released at the end of this year, along with a pipeline of other Intel-based Macs. This is going to be a huge change for the ecosystem, and I'm interested to see what the performance differences and transition will look like. Overall, these were the major updates for this year's 2020 WWDC keynote. I was hoping for some other surprises, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoyed the update. Please also go ahead and ring that bell so you can get notified when I post new content. See you next time.